What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video, I'd like to discuss some things that I think are going to be rather helpful whenever it comes to end of cycle shenanigans for this crypto bull run. Right? We're nowhere near the end of the cycle now, but this is some stuff that I will probably refresh in a few months, and as we continue to get into the end of the cycle, especially, I'll be saying this a lot more often. But it's good to have it in your mind now so that you can at least prepare ahead of time. Um, when it comes time to taking profits, whenever it comes time to selling out of your positions and maybe fully allocating into Bitcoin, fully allocating into stable coins, cashing out entirely, there's some things that you guys need to be prepared for and be aware of before all that happens, right? And everybody's different. Everybody's got a different plan. There's a lot of people in crypto who, again, like I was saying, they like the idea of selling out of altcoins entirely and just having a full blown Bitcoin stack. Some people like to do it half and half, where they sell out of their altcoins completely. They hold Bitcoin and they hold USDT. Some people want to just cash out entirely. Whatever person you are, I think that this video will pertain to you. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? I actually want to start this video off by reading another comment that somebody had. Shout out to Darth Raider. You're the one that inspired this video today. You said, C-Zar, how do we pull our money out during the peak of the bull cycle if exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken and all the other ones are down because everyone's trying to exit at once? What do we do? And the thing is, they might not be down. If they are down, we'll go over that too. But even if they're not down, there might be withdrawal limits in place, or there might be, let's say, longer amounts of time before your money is actually in the bank whenever you do withdraw. And that's not necessarily the problem that you should be concerned with. While that is a problem in itself, and you want to have access to your money whenever you need it, right? The bigger problem, and what my response was to this, I said, worry more about selling rather than getting your money out of the exchange, right? If it's Bitcoin, if it's crypto, and you're trying to put that in cold storage long term, then you should probably just have that off the exchange well in advance before the end of the cycle anyways, right? If you want to avoid any kind of withholding of your stuff or delays in your withdrawals, and you're just going to hold it in long-term storage anyways, maybe do that. Maybe just have it already off the exchanges. But if you're talking about withdrawing off the exchange into cash, I don't think that's as big of a problem as selling, right? You want to make sure that your sell orders are in place. You've been DCAing out so that if there is some kind of crazy shenanigans that happens, a massive drop or something, and there are exchanges that are down, you're not still fully allocated in the markets, or at least largely allocated in the markets, where you've begun to DCA out and take profits, and you're in a better position for something like that, right? So you want to have sell orders in place, and maybe even some stop losses, especially as we get toward the end of the cycle. Something like that might be more relevant. I was saying, as long as it's sitting in USD or USDT, you'll be fine. If you have a certain amount of money on the exchange, your withdrawal limits, they do increase. So depending on your security clearance on the exchange, and I say security clearance, I just mean like your validation, your verification status, especially with KYC, you can have higher withdrawal limits, and people with higher accounts typically have higher withdrawal limits. I forget what it is. I want to say it's like 50K a day. Maybe it's 10K a day, depending on what exchange you're using. But I was saying, as far as your money off the exchange goes, when that's a problem, it only lasts for a couple days or a week, maybe a couple weeks at the most, and then things should be good. So it's not some kind of long-term thing. Even if the withdrawal limits are 50K a day, and you're trying to withdraw 50K every day, but it's not happening, there's a delay, they will get their money in order. Things will be fine, in time. Maybe there is going to be a momentary bank run. There typically is at the end of the cycle. In really high traffic times, there's a lot of money inflowing and outflowing of the crypto exchanges. So that kind of traffic does overload the system a little bit. But it will resolve itself. And that's why withdrawing, in my opinion, is not as big of a problem as selling. Because if the exchanges are down, if they're undergoing maintenance, or there's some kind of just mishap happening, you want to make sure that you're not fully allocated in the markets while that's happening, right? You want to be in US dollars or USDT, USDC, whatever. You could keep it in USDT or USDC and stake and get rewards that way. And I know that the Genius Act made it to where you can't get APR or APY off of your staked coins, but there's some kind of runaround with that now, and I think they're trying to work that out. Whether or not stablecoins will offer you APR or APYs, I think they still will. Like there's no way that they can make that illegal, because instead of the coins offering that, the exchanges can just offer that for you having that amount of money on there, right? Robinhood does that with stocks. Various exchanges do that as well. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with that. So leaving it on the exchange is not a problem if you're planning on staking it that way, and if you're withdrawing your money, here and there when you need it, and just kind of living off of those profits that way. If you're trying to withdraw all your money at once, you are going to have a problem with the exchange. And this is where the last part of what I was saying, I think, is going to be helpful. I was saying that it's important to keep your money on multiple exchanges. And I think this is something that most people don't think about. We hear about diversification all the time, right? Buy Dogecoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, buy Solana, buy XRP, right? You should have your hand in each basket. But the thought here also is diversification in the sense of where your money is held, right? Diversification isn't just what asset you're holding, but diversification in how many wallets you have and how many exchanges you're exposed to is also important. Imagine you have all your money on Coinbase, or all of your money on Robinhood, or all of your money on Kraken, or all of your money on Binance or Gemini or whatever, right? And you have $1 million. Let's say you have $1 million, and the withdrawal limit's $50,000 a day. You're stuck to $50,000 a day, and it's all in Bitcoin. Let's just say it's all in Bitcoin to keep it simple. $1 million all in Bitcoin. You sell out, and because you have a lot of Bitcoin, and it's all just on one exchange, right? Now imagine you have all that money, instead of it just all being on one exchange, it's on all those exchanges I just mentioned. It's on Binance, Kraken, Gemini, Coinbase, Robinhood. It's on Kraken. Did I say Kraken? I don't remember, but it's on all those exchanges. Now you have those withdrawal limits for each exchange for each day. You got a $50,000 withdrawal limit on 5 different exchanges or 4 different exchanges. You can withdraw a lot more money. And then not only that, it's good practice to have your assets on multiple exchanges. Yes, this might be a thought that some of you haven't had, but yes, if you're holding a large amount of your money, if you've got like $1,000, okay, maybe you don't need multiple exchanges. If you have like $10,000, okay, maybe you don't need multiple exchanges. But if you're dealing with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, you should probably have your money in multiple exchanges, not just one. Because for one, it's a security thing, single point of failure. If you have your money spread out across 4 or 5 different exchanges that have 4 or 5 different emails, right? They all have different emails and they all have different passwords. It's going to be a lot harder to access those funds. It's going to be a lot harder for someone, or if one of those exchanges goes down, then only part of your funds are affected. Not all of your funds are tied up, right? And that's kind of important. It's more work. It takes a little bit more. You have to sign up, and you have to do whatever. You have to sign up on different exchanges, and that takes a little bit more work. You have to set up more buy orders across different exchanges, and that takes more work. But whenever it comes time to withdrawing, and whenever it comes time for security as well, that's a real advantage. Having exposure on multiple exchanges. We think of diversity in the sense of having multiple types of assets, but having diversification of your capital across multiple exchanges is also very beneficial for this reason right here. Beyond that, I was also talking about how, let's see, there's also crypto companies that allow credit and debit cards. You could use them as a bank, so to speak. Instead of withdrawing for cash, you could just send USDT or USDC and use that as a debit or credit on your card. So there are other ways to access your money and still use your money day to day as cash, as physical cash. Well, maybe not physical cash, technically digital cash, but without withdrawing into like a traditional bank account or a centralized bank account. Gemini has a card, Coinbase has a card, Robinhood has a card. Like and all you got to do to use those cards, all you got to do to fund those cards is have money on the exchange, and you have access to that, right? And I'm just saying there's all kinds of ways where. And I understand the idea. It's much more appealing to the average person to withdraw your money. If it's your money, you want to withdraw it, you want to have it physically. Okay, I get it. You want to have it in your bank account, I get it. But for me, it's all the same. If it's in one account, it's in 10 accounts. As long as I have access to it, I don't really care, right? If it comes to storing your crypto, that's where it's different, right? If you're looking to store your crypto long-term in cold storage, you want to keep it in Bitcoin. You want to have a HODL position in Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Monero, Binance, like BNB coin, whatever, coins that are going to be here for the long term. And there's probably plenty of coins that I didn't mention that are going to be here for the long term as well. I was just, shooting off the top of my head. I think Monero, or no, just BNB. Is it BNB and Tron or BNB and Monero? There are 2 cryptos that their bear markets outperformed Bitcoin's bear market. I know BNB is one of them. I just forget what the other one is. But But there are coins that are here for the long term that are going to build over the long term. And if you're trying to hold those in a hodl position, I would think if you got long term hodl positions, and these are positions that are like multiple cycles out, lifelong, you don't plan on withdrawing them at all, get those off the exchange immediately. Get them off immediately, because you don't want to be getting those off whenever we're at the high times, the cycle euphoria times, because then what is $50,000 now will be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars then. It'll be even harder for you to get all those funds off the exchange, right? It's best for cold storage and long-term storage of any crypto asset, whatever asset it might be, except for maybe USDT, because that's just fixed, or USDC, that's just fixed. It's important to have that off in cold storage, but there's plenty of ways and plenty of things that we can do to protect ourselves from, first off, from any kind of fraudulent behavior or scams or security issues, by having access and diversification across multiple exchanges whenever it comes to diversification of capital. But there's also a lot that you don't really have to worry about, as long as you're just in cash or in USDT primarily, or you're in your hodl positions primarily. It doesn't matter if the exchanges are going through high withdrawal limits, high transaction limits instances, and they're down for a day or two or a week or two. They're going to get their money right. They're going to get things to you, and things will settle. As long as you're out of the markets in the way that you want to be, you should be fine. But this is stuff that you should start thinking about, right? And again, getting set up on an exchange, sometimes, I don't know how it is for everything, because I've been set up on these exchanges for so long. I've got access. I mean, I've got an account on Kraken, on Gemini, on Robinhood, on Coinbase, on Binance US, on CRO, right? I do have a KuCoin account, but I don't know if I'm allowed to use it now. I don't have the KYC, and I'm pretty sure they're KYC. There's one more exchange. I'm missing an exchange. Did I say Kraken? I think I said Kraken already. I'm missing an exchange, right? MEXC. But as far as like United States exchanges go, I think I nailed all of them. It's good, and I don't have a lot of funds on every single exchange, but I have the availability to do so, right? Maybe one of them has access to one crypto before the rest of them do. I have the availability to send funds from one exchange to another and buy that. There's a multitude of reasons beyond the reasons we've gone over in this video why having access to multiple exchanges, several exchanges, is beneficial. And that's probably not something that a lot of people do. Most people probably just have access to one exchange, maybe two, right? Why not 5? Why not 10? As many as you can, right? You don't have to have money on every single one of them, but if you have large, especially if you have like small amounts of money, it's really not that important. But if you're dealing with tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, more than that, right? You should probably be diversified across several different exchanges, cold storage wallets, all of it, you name it, right? It shouldn't all be in one place. Even if it's in different assets, it shouldn't all be in one place. If you're in American exchanges, your money's insured like up to like $250,000 as long as something fraudulent happens that you're not at fault for. If it's the exchange gets hacked, you're not FDIC insured technically, but essentially you are. You get like $250,000 in insurance or something like that. I forget what the number is. Maybe it's more. But if you're dealing with large amounts of money, you should have that spread across multiple exchanges so that you have more coverage across more exchanges. And then, of course, again, the odds of every exchange getting hacked all at once, or every account of yours getting hacked all at once, is a lot less than just one. You know what I mean? And use different emails. Use different passwords. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm getting way off the topic here. The main topic of this video, and the security stuff, is a de facto kind of point that we can make in this. But the main topic here is, I don't think it matters the withdrawals so much. I think that'll work itself out. That'll be fine, as long as you don't need, like, let's say you cash out at $10 million at the end of the cycle, and you don't need that $10 million that day. You can wait like a couple days or a week or two, or however long it is, maybe a month or two, to withdraw all of it. As long as you can wait and sustain yourself off of like whatever the $50,000 day limits are, I think you'll be fine. And if you, again, $50,000 a day, I don't know if it's that for every exchange. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what the top tiers are. I'm sure you can withdraw more. But let's just say it's $50,000 a day. Let's say it's even $25,000 a day. Across 5 exchanges, that'd be $125,000 a day that you can withdraw, right? That's a lot more beneficial than just having one exchange. So that's a real kind of point I was trying to drive home. But I'm running out of things to say. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I hope that this video helps and gives you some stuff to think about. Again, leaving your money on exchanges or in places in the form of USDT or USDC and having those crypto credit cards or debit cards even, that's not a problem either if you're okay with that, right? If it's long-term storage, again, I want to be very clear because I can already hear people in the comments saying, how dare you leave your money in the exchange? Yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah, you said it. Okay, cool. I'm not talking about leaving your bitcoins, leaving your Bitcoin Cash, just leaving your long-term storage stuff on the exchange. Get that off the exchange. If it's stuff that you're not planning on selling in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, if you're not going to sell it at all and you're just going to keep it forever, why is it on the exchange to begin with? That's obvious, right? But most people, let's be practical, most people are in this to make some money, to cash out, to make some money and withdraw. They're not just holding for the long term. And there are a lot of people who do hold for the long term, and even still they withdraw some cash, right? So these are good practices, good thoughts, especially whenever it comes to high traffic moments. Shout out to shout out to Darth Raider. My camera keeps glitching out. I see this. For the thought of this video here, man. But whenever it comes to cashing out in high traffic, these are just some things to be aware of, right? And again, when exchanges go down, it's not withdrawing that's necessarily the problem. That'll work itself out. It's selling. It's making sure that you've sold before the market crashes. And whenever the exchanges go down, undergo maintenance, there's high transaction, traffic going on, you might have a harder time selling. So be prepared ahead of time, right? Be prepared ahead of time. Anyways, I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Well, 1 second. What does being prepared ahead of time mean? Again, I said it already, but let me just be clear. It means having stop losses, having sell orders in place ahead of time, okay? Allocating out. You DCA into the markets, right? We've been buying for years now, month after month after month, various cryptos. You sell month after month after month. And maybe not now. Maybe we start to DCA out now. I don't think it's the time. I think the time to start to DCA out really would be sometime late Q1 going into late Q2. Right? If you want to DCA out over 3 months, that's probably a good time to do it. If you want to DCA out over 1 month, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you do it daily, maybe you do it weekly, whatever your limit is. I don't know, right? But when I'm talking about DCAing out, I'm talking about selling, not withdrawing. Okay? And to protect yourself against the times when the maintenance stuff happens, if you have sell orders in place or stop losses in place, to my knowledge, those should still work even if maintenance is being underdone. That should still work itself out. You just won't be able to do anything new, if that makes sense. Because I've had stop losses and sell orders and buy orders in place while maintenance has been going, and those still hit. Okay? Just like if maintenance is undergoing and your liquidation levels get hit, those still get hit. The things that are already set get hit. It's just nothing new can be placed or replaced. Anyways, I've said it all. I don't have anything else I want to say. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.